There is a profound strength in a woman who stands tall despite feeling alone. In a world that often equates social circles with success, it's easy to feel less than when friendships seem elusive. But solitude is not a measure of your worth. It's an invitation to explore the depths of who you are and the life you're meant to lead. The way we speak to ourselves in moments of pain and difficulty shapes the foundation of how we rise from challenges. Self-compassion is not indulgence. It is the lifeline we extend to ourselves when we feel isolated, defeated, or unworthy. It is the voice inside that says, you are human and it's okay to struggle. In a society that glorifies relentless self-improvement and perfection, the act of being kind to ourselves can feel counterintuitive. Yet, it is in these moments of gentleness with ourselves that we discover strength and resilience. When life feels overwhelming and connections seem scarce, it's tempting to believe the narrative that we are not enough, that we are unworthy of companionship or understanding. But self-compassion challenges that false story. It reminds us that imperfection is a shared human experience, and just because we feel alone doesn't mean we are fundamentally unlovable. Instead of judging ourselves harshly for the relationships we lack or the mistakes we've made, self-compassion invites us to sit with those feelings, to acknowledge them without shame, and to treat ourselves as we would a dear friend. Imagine a friend coming to you overwhelmed with the same struggles you face. Would you criticize or dismiss their feelings? Of course not. You would listen, comfort, and remind them of their worth. Yet so often when it comes to ourselves, we withhold this compassion. We allow the inner critic to take center stage, amplifying doubts and insecurities. Practicing self-compassion means silencing that critic and offering ourselves the same warmth and understanding we give so freely to others. This practice doesn't mean ignoring areas where we can grow or change. It doesn't mean avoiding accountability or challenges. In fact, self-compassion provides the strength to face those areas with courage and hope. When we meet ourselves with kindness, we create a safe space to acknowledge where we've fallen short and explore how we can rise again. Self-compassion transforms failure from a wall into a stepping stone. It shifts the narrative from I can't do this to this is hard, but I'm capable of learning and growing. The beauty of self-compassion is that it opens doors to connection, not just with ourselves, but with others. When we embrace our imperfections and treat ourselves gently, we create a more authentic and empathetic version of ourselves to share with the world. We no longer feel the need to hide our vulnerabilities or pretend to have it all together. Instead, we can show up fully, knowing that our worth is not dependent on external validation. It is through self-compassion that we cultivate the inner resilience to face life's challenges, even when we feel alone. It's a quiet but powerful reminder that our relationship with ourselves sets the tone for every other relationship in our lives. By learning to treat ourselves with the kindness we deserve, we not only heal but also empower ourselves to seek and nurture the connections that truly matter. Self-compassion isn't just a gift we give ourselves, it's the foundation of a life lived with strength, grace, and authenticity. Vulnerability is often misunderstood as weakness, but in truth, it is one of the greatest demonstrations of courage we can offer. It takes strength to show up fully as ourselves, to embrace the messy, imperfect, and uncertain aspects of life. In a world that often prizes invulnerability, stoicism, confidence, and control, choosing to be vulnerable is a radical act of bravery. It is an acknowledgement that to live wholeheartedly, we must allow ourselves to be seen, flaws and all, and risk the discomfort that comes with it. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we open the door to connection and growth. Vulnerability is the birthplace of trust, intimacy, and authenticity. It is through sharing our fears, dreams, and struggles that we forge deeper bonds with others. Pretending to have it all together might shield us from rejection, but it also keeps us isolated. When we are willing to say, I'm struggling, I don't know, or I need help, we create space for others to meet us with understanding and compassion. We give them permission to be vulnerable too, and in doing so, we strengthen our relationships. Vulnerability doesn't mean sharing everything with everyone. It's not about oversharing or seeking validation. Instead, it's about being honest with ourselves and others in meaningful ways. It's about recognizing when we're hiding behind masks of perfectionism or fear and daring to let those masks slip. This might mean admitting we're scared before a big change, confessing that we've made a mistake, or expressing love without knowing if it will be returned. Each act of vulnerability is an act of trust, not just in others, but in our own ability to handle whatever response may come. There's a misconception that vulnerability makes us susceptible to harm. And while it's true that being open comes with risks, it also builds resilience. When we lean into our vulnerabilities, we stop running from our fears and instead face them head on. This willingness to confront what scares us is what cultivates strength. Vulnerability teaches us that we can endure discomfort and come out stronger on the other side. It shows us that we are capable of handling rejection, failure, and uncertainty because we have chosen to live authentically rather than shrink away from life. Perhaps one of the most beautiful aspects of vulnerability is the freedom it brings. When we let go of the need to be perfect, we release the weight of unrealistic expectations. We stop striving to control every outcome and instead embrace the unpredictability of life. Vulnerability allows us to be fully present, to experience the joys and sorrows of life without numbing or avoiding. It reminds us that being human is not about having it all together, but about showing up with an open heart, even when it feels scary. Vulnerability is not a weakness, but a strength that transforms our lives. It connects us, deepens our relationships, and helps us grow into our truest selves. By embracing our vulnerabilities, we step into our power, not the power of perfection, but the power of authenticity, courage, and love. Friendship is often portrayed as an idealized relationship filled with constant joy, unwavering support, and mutual understanding. However, this narrow definition can sometimes make us feel as though we are falling short if our friendships don't look a certain way or if we don't have as many connections as others seem to. Redefining friendship means moving beyond these superficial benchmarks and embracing a deeper, more authentic understanding of what it means to truly connect with others. True friendship is not measured by the number of people in your life or the frequency of your interactions, but by the quality of those relationships. It is about being seen and valued for who you are and not for what you can offer or how well you fit into someone else's expectations. A single genuine connection can hold more weight and significance than 100 shallow acquaintances. Friendship is not about quantity, it's about mutual respect, shared values, and a willingness to grow alongside one another. Part of redefining friendship involves letting go of the notion that friendships must last forever to be meaningful. Sometimes people come into our lives for a season, teaching us lessons or offering support during a particular chapter. When those connections fade, it doesn't diminish their value. It's important to honor what those relationships brought into your life and to recognize that change is a natural part of growth. Redefining friendship means accepting that some relationships will evolve or end, and that's okay. Each connection serves a purpose, whether it's fleeting or enduring. Another aspect of redefining friendship is recognizing that it's okay to set boundaries and prioritize your own well-being. A true friend will respect your need for space, growth, or self-care, and will not demand more from you than you can give. Friendship should never feel like a chore or an obligation. It should be a source of mutual nourishment and encouragement. By setting healthy boundaries, you ensure that your relationships are rooted in respect and understanding rather than guilt or resentment. We also need to expand our definition of what friendship can look like. Sometimes a friend isn't someone you see every day or even talk to regularly. It might be someone you connect with deeply during infrequent conversations, or someone who shares a specific passion or experience with you. These friendships are no less valuable simply because they don't fit the traditional mold. Redefining friendship means embracing the diversity of relationships and recognizing that each one can add something unique to your life. Redefining friendship involves looking inward and becoming the kind of friend you want to have. Are you showing up with empathy, authenticity, and a willingness to support others? Are you giving the same grace to others that you hope to receive? Friendship is a two-way street, and by cultivating these qualities within yourself, you create the foundation for meaningful connections. Friendship is not about fitting into a societal ideal or meeting someone else's expectations. It's about finding and fostering connections that feel genuine, fulfilling, and aligned with who you are. When we redefine friendship in this way, we open ourselves to deeper, more authentic relationships and allow space for connections that truly enrich our lives. Solitude often carries an unfair reputation as something to be avoided, a sign of loneliness or social inadequacy. But solitude is not loneliness, it is a profound gift that offers an opportunity to reconnect with yourself, your thoughts, and your sense of purpose. In a world that constantly demands our attention and energy, choosing solitude can be a radical act of self-care and self-discovery. It is a time to step away from external noise and reflect on what truly matters to you. When we embrace solitude, we create space to hear the quiet voice within us that often gets drowned out by the demands of daily life. It is in these moments of stillness that clarity emerges. We begin to understand our desires, fears, and values without the influence of others' expectations or opinions. Solitude allows us to reconnect with our authentic selves, providing a foundation of self-awareness that strengthens every aspect of our lives. Solitude is fertile ground for creativity and innovation. Some of the greatest ideas and breakthroughs come in moments of quiet reflection. When we are alone, free from distractions, our minds have the freedom to wander, to explore new perspectives, and to solve problems in ways that might not surface in busier environments. Whether it's journaling, painting, meditating, or simply sitting in silence, solitude fosters a creative energy that can be transformative. Solitude also offers a chance to recharge. Constantly engaging with others can be draining, even for those who thrive on social interaction. Alone time provides an opportunity to replenish your emotional and mental reserves, allowing you to show up more fully in your relationships and responsibilities. It's not about shutting others out, but about creating a balance that nurtures your well-being. When we take time for ourselves, we return to the world with greater patience, compassion, and resilience. Another gift of solitude is the perspective it provides. When we step away from the noise of everyday life, we can evaluate our choices and priorities with greater objectivity. Are we living in alignment with our values? Are we investing time and energy into what truly matters to us? Solitude gives us the opportunity to ask these questions and adjust our course if necessary. It helps us strip away distractions and focus on what is meaningful. Choosing solitude also strengthens our relationship with ourselves. In moments of quiet, we learn to be our own source of comfort and companionship. We discover that we are capable of finding joy and contentment within ourselves rather than relying on external validation. This self-reliance is not about isolation, but about building a strong inner foundation that enhances our ability to connect with others authentically. Solitude is not something to fear or avoid. It is a gift that deepens our understanding of ourselves and enriches our lives. By embracing moments of aloneness, we open the door to clarity, creativity, and personal growth. Solitude reminds us that we are enough as we are, and it empowers us to live with greater intention and authenticity. Rejection is one of the most painful experiences we can face, whether it comes in the form of a lost opportunity, a failed relationship, or a moment of being overlooked or dismissed. It can leave us feeling small, unworthy, and uncertain about our value. Yet rejection is also one of the most powerful teachers we have. It's not a final judgment on who we are, but rather an invitation to rise, learn, and strengthen our resilience. The true measure of strength isn't found in avoiding rejection, but in how we respond to it. When we face rejection, it's easy to internalize it, to believe that it reflects something intrinsic about us, that we are not good enough, capable enough, or worthy enough. This is a natural reaction, but it's also a dangerous one. The key to resilience in the face of rejection lies in separating our sense of self-worth from external outcomes. Rejection does not define who we are. It is simply a reflection of a moment, an opportunity, or a specific circumstance. It is possible to be rejected without losing our sense of self or the belief that we are deserving of love, success, and belonging. Resilience begins with the acknowledgement that rejection is a part of life and not something to be feared or avoided. Every successful person, every person who has ever done anything meaningful has faced rejection at some point. It is a necessary part of growth. When we encounter rejection, we have the opportunity to learn, to reflect, and to become stronger in the process. It teaches us to handle setbacks with grace and to keep moving forward despite them. This does not mean we ignore the pain that comes with rejection, but rather we allow ourselves to feel it without letting it consume us. We process the hurt, learn from it, and then continue on our journey. One of the most powerful ways to build resilience is to reframe rejection as a lesson rather than a failure. What can we learn from this experience? What can we do differently next time? This mindset shift transforms rejection from a blow to our confidence into an opportunity for personal growth. By viewing rejection as feedback rather than a verdict on our worth, we begin to see it for what it is: temporary and informative. It can be a stepping stone to greater success, deeper self-awareness, and a stronger sense of purpose. Another crucial aspect of resilience is self-compassion. When we face rejection, we tend to be our own harshest critics. But self-compassion allows us to treat ourselves with the same kindness we would show a friend who is hurting. Instead of berating ourselves or falling into a spiral of self-doubt, we practice patience and understanding, acknowledging that we are doing the best we can. Self-compassion helps us to move through rejection without letting it shatter our confidence or self-esteem. Rejection is not the end, it is simply a detour on the road to success and fulfillment. Every time we face rejection and rise from it, we build a little more resilience. We learn to trust ourselves, to stay true to our values, and to keep moving forward even when things don't go as planned. Resilience is not about avoiding rejection. It's about using rejection as an opportunity to deepen our strength and courage. It's about remembering that rejection is a part of the journey, not the final destination. In a world that often prioritizes perfection, fitting in, and outward success, authenticity can feel like a rare and courageous choice. Yet authenticity is the very thing that creates the deepest and most meaningful connections between people. It's easy to fall into the trap of presenting a version of ourselves that we believe others will accept, but this often leads to shallow relationships built on masks rather than truth. True connection comes when we are willing to be vulnerable, to show up as our real selves, and to allow others to do the same. When we embrace authenticity, we invite others to do the same, creating space for genuine, transformative connections. Being authentic means embracing both our strengths and our flaws. It means acknowledging our quirks, our fears, our dreams, and our imperfections without shame. It's about showing up in the world as we truly are without pretending to be something we're not. Authenticity isn't about being flawless, it's about being real. When we allow ourselves to be seen in this way, we give others permission to do the same. The beauty of authenticity is that it creates a ripple effect, inspiring those around us to drop their own facade and show up more honestly in their own lives. One of the greatest barriers to authenticity is the fear of judgment, rejection, or not being accepted. It's a natural instinct to want to be liked and to fear the consequences of being vulnerable. But the more we try to fit in or hide parts of ourselves to gain acceptance, the more we disconnect from who we truly are. It's only through embracing our authentic selves that we can build connections that are real, honest, and supportive. When we show up as we are, we attract people who appreciate us for our true selves, not for the version of ourselves we think we should be. Authenticity fosters deep emotional bonds because it allows for genuine understanding and empathy. When we share our real selves, our struggles, our triumphs, our fears, we create a space for others to share their own truths. This mutual vulnerability forms the foundation of true connection. People don't connect with our perfect, polished versions, they connect with our humanity. It's through the moments of real conversation, the openness about our challenges, and the willingness to be vulnerable that we find our deepest bonds. Authenticity encourages trust. When we are open about who we are, we invite others to do the same. This creates an environment where honesty and vulnerability are welcomed, not judged. Trust is the foundation of any meaningful relationship, and trust is built when we show up as our true selves. By being authentic, we demonstrate that we are reliable, that we can be trusted with others' vulnerabilities, and that we won't hide behind a mask. Cultivating connection through authenticity doesn't mean oversharing or being completely transparent about every aspect of our lives. It means being honest in the right moments, being true to our values, and allowing others to see us for who we really are. It's about listening with empathy, offering support, and being present without pretending to be someone we're not. Authenticity invites others into our world, creating connections that are not based on surface-level interactions, but on a deeper, more meaningful level of understanding. The more we embrace our authentic selves, the more we open ourselves up to the world of connection. By cultivating authenticity, we create a space where relationships can flourish based on trust, mutual respect, and genuine love. Authenticity is the bridge that connects us to others. And in that connection, we find not only the people who understand us, but also a deeper understanding of ourselves. Building a tribe that celebrates you is one of the most powerful and rewarding aspects of personal growth. It's about surrounding yourself with people who truly see you, your strengths, your quirks, your dreams, and who uplift and encourage you to be the best version of yourself. A supportive tribe isn't just about having people around for social gatherings. It's about having individuals who genuinely care for you, who offer understanding without judgment, and who celebrate you not in spite of your imperfections, but because of them. The first step in building such a tribe is to understand that the people you choose to surround yourself with play a crucial role in shaping your self-worth. Not all relationships are created equal, and it's important to recognize the difference between those who nourish your spirit and those who drain it. A tribe that celebrates you isn't necessarily made up of people who agree with you on everything, but rather those who respect your individuality, support your journey, and celebrate your victories. These are the people who show up when you need them most, and they're also the ones who cheer for you in times of success, not just in times of struggle. One of the keys to building such a tribe is to first be authentic and true to yourself. You can't expect others to celebrate you for who you are if you're not willing to show up as your true self. Often we hide parts of ourselves out of fear that others won't accept us. But it's in embracing our full selves, our imperfections, our uniqueness, our values that we attract the right people into our lives. When we are vulnerable and authentic, we create space for others to be the same, which deepens the bond of trust and connection. A tribe is built on shared values, mutual respect, and understanding. And this can only thrive when you are clear about who you are and what you stand for. Another aspect of building a tribe that celebrates you is being intentional about the relationships you cultivate. It's easy to fall into the trap of maintaining friendships or connections that no longer serve you because of history or convenience, but real growth comes when you're willing to invest in relationships that are healthy, empowering, and aligned with your values. This may mean letting go of relationships that are toxic, draining, or based on superficial interactions. Creating space for relationships that bring joy, encouragement, and understanding will allow you to build a tribe that truly celebrates who you are. Mutual support is another pillar of a thriving tribe. The relationships in your tribe should be reciprocal, with give and take flowing in both directions. It's not just about having people celebrate your successes, but also about being there for others when they need you. A strong tribe is one where each member lifts the others up, provides guidance and encouragement, and holds one another accountable. When you support others, you build a sense of community that is grounded in trust and respect, and this strengthens the bond between you. Building a tribe is not an overnight process. It takes time, effort, and patience. It requires vulnerability and a willingness to invest in the relationships that matter. But when you surround yourself with a tribe that celebrates you, you create an environment in which you can thrive, knowing that you are supported, valued, and loved for exactly who you are. It is in this tribe that you can find the strength to face life's challenges, the courage to pursue your dreams, and the freedom to be unapologetically yourself. In the end, the most powerful gift we can give ourselves is the love and support of those who celebrate us, and in turn, we celebrate them.